Welcome to Caesar's Pixel Imperium. We're here at our second episode after last week's fun episode with Dickie, where we played a little bit of a Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Bros. 2 on the Super Nintendo. Today we have a brand new guest here to play a game with us. We have our friend Ryan Wade. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
When I was reaching out for people to come and play some games with us, Ryan immediately came to my mind. I know he's kind of a retro gamer himself, so I asked him what he might like to play, and he came up with a fantastic game. Ryan, what do you have for us today?
Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time. Now, we're going to play this on the Super Nintendo.
Hello.
So in the arcade game, of course, this was a 4-player game, kind of like those Simpsons and the X-Men and all those kind of style cartoony games.
Yeah.
2 players on Nintendo. We didn't use the Nintendo 4 Score. Is that what that thing was called, to play 4 players?
Yeah. I've never seen one of those in person, actually.
My buddy had one. We used to play action football, I think, 4 players.
Yeah. There was one for NES, and you could play the Nightmare on Elm Street game with it.
Oh, yeah.
4 players at once. Why would anybody want
Why would anyone want to play a game with those 4 players?
Just torture. Absolute torture.
Donatello. Now, each of the turtles had their kind of own powers in this one. Leonardo was more the balanced fighter. Donatello, as we see here, he's the best ranged but slower attacks. Michelangelo, faster but weaker. And Raphael, quick attacks with a short range. I was always a Raph guy myself. Was Donatello your favorite Ninja Turtle overall?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it for sure. Like, my sister loved Michelangelo, and I thought Donatello was the best, I guess.
I was a Raph guy, maybe because I was moody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's very moody in that first Ninja Turtle movie. But I remember going to see that the first day it came out, and it was like on a Friday, and like my parents took me and my sister out of school to go see it.
Wow.
On a Friday, so
It's amazing.
yeah.
I saw it in theater too. I'm sure I must have, and I must have seen it a million times on
There
VHS.
was definitely like Pizza Hut involved in that day, and I probably played the first Ninja Turtles arcade game at the arcade at the Avalon Mall that day for sure.
Yeah.
You know, because it was kind of just before Mortal Kombat and stuff. You know, a couple of years before that, I guess, but still, like, I'd say like the most popular game style at the time was a beat 'em up.
Oh, definitely.
Arcade, right?
Yeah, the X-Men game was hugely popular.
Yeah.
There was an 8-player one of the X-Men, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Amazing.
they had that at the mall actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. It's kind of sad that there's not a lot of YouTube footage of the mall. Kind of like
Yeah, I went
look,
looking
you think
for it
that-
one day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
I think. Do you know Richie?
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Friend of
yeah.
the show, Richie Perez.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Richie has a video of the mall from like '92 or '93 up on his YouTube channel.
Amazing.
If you went and looked.
I still have my high school agenda, and we went to the mall one day in 1995, maybe.
Yeah.
And told stores we were working on a photo assignment and got everyone to pose and took pictures of them for no reason, just for fun.
Yeah.
And I got all the pictures in my agenda still of all these like people working at the mall posing at their desks. Funny.
Cool.
That great arcade used to be right there by the theater in the Avalon Mall.
Yeah, and I think
Electric Avenue, is that what it's called?
that's what it was called. And West 49 is like, it's not
Yeah.
exactly that spot, but it's right next to where it was. And I'm forgetting what the store is there now. It might be Le Chateau, maybe. I'm not even sure.
I used to go there when, like, back in the early days when you'd play Dragon's Lair was a big game there.
Yeah, there's a Sega one that had like a reflection screen on the go. It was kind of like live action, right? Time scanners. Or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Actually, you mentioned Richie Perez. Richie actually is going to be coming on the Caesar's Pixel Imperium in the next couple of months.
Oh, cool.
And the game that he requested to do is that one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Dragon's Lair, and there was 2 or 3 other ones. They're all that sort of same style of same company made them, like kind of live cartoon games.
Yeah, Space Ace.
Space Ace, that sounds about
Another
right.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually found some copies of them because Richie said he wanted to. That's what he wanted to play. So I tried to play Dragon's Lair, but I couldn't make hide nor hair of it. I don't think I could make hide nor hair of it when I was a kid either. I don't think if I ever got in that castle.
No. And just by looking at the back of the box back in the day, I knew well enough not to buy like the Dragon's Lair, like NES.
Oh,
games.
yeah,
Like, that doesn't look very good. No, I don't think I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah, if there's ever a game that's going to disappoint you between the arcade and the Nintendo, it was definitely going to be Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, for sure. I got him beat. This is way easier than the arcade.
It's because I don't want your quarters.
Yeah. Quarter muncher.
Who was that boss we just saw then? That was Baxter. Was
Baxter
it?
Stockman.
Baxter Stockman.
Yeah, the mutant fly.
You watched the cartoon a lot when you were a kid?
Yes.
Collected toys, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I still got some of that somewhere out home.
All my toys ended up in kindergarten because my mom was a teacher, so all my Star Wars, He-Man, all that stuff's gone. Yeah. I got a bit of a collection of newer Turtle stuff.
I had Insectors. Remember that?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah. I had a bunch of that.
I had a bunch of that too.
I had the Bee.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote them and stuff. And
wow, I forgot about those guys. I had all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I feel like Tim Clark had something to do with creating that toy line. He's the guy who did Boglins later.
Yeah. I saw some Boglins at a yard sale a few months ago.
Cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's it. It all intersects. Basically, these, to a certain degree, I guess, like Ninja Turtles was like an underground comic first.
Yep.
But, once it got, once it became a cartoon, it was, yes, the cartoon was great, but it was also to sell toys. Like
it was such a license.
G.I. Joe or Transformers or even like GoBots. I see you got a GoBots DVD.
Yeah, that's Jordan Young. We had Jordan Young on the show last week. That's a bootleg copy of the hard-to-find GoBots movie that he brought us in on DVD.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Battle of the Rock Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I rented that a lot as a kid.
That's what I said as well. I rented it a lot.
Rentals, that Police Academy 3.
Yeah.
Right? Monster Squad.
Batteries not included was the big one for me.
Yeah.
And where they all went in the guy's body. Was that Interspace?
Yes.
Inner
Oh,
Space?
man, that movie's great. I haven't thought about that in forever. I bet you that's on YouTube.
I used to watch that a lot.
Yeah. I watched Fright Night last Friday.
Oh, yeah, the original one?
Yeah. I got it on VHS at Collected Pulp.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who sells books.
Yeah, he's going to come on the show at some point and talk about his stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a great guy.
Yeah, we watched Fright Night and Demons at a birthday party when they first came out on VHS, and somebody got sick and threw up watching Demons. threw up behind the couch.
That happened to me when I saw RoboCop for the first time.
Haha, with the mutated guy with the toxic waste, or when he got his arms blown off.
When he's getting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't throw up, but it turned my guts because I was way too young to see that movie.
Yeah.
I guess when it came out, even though everyone was like obsessed with RoboCop, it's just like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that at the time. So.
One of the first movies I remember seeing, my cousin sat me down. We watched American Werewolf in London and The Shining. So,
oh man, The Shining is so good. I haven't seen that in a long time now either. It's something I'm looking for on tape now, actually, because I used to have it, but lost track of it somewhere.
What was kind of your first video game system that you played around with?
The first Atari. My neighbor had one.
Yeah.
And I played Freeway a lot, but when I was a kid, I called it the Can the Chicken Cross the Road game.
Yeah.
I wants to play that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. It was really good, actually. I love that game. So,
we had Atari.
I knew about that before I knew about Frogger, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's basically just a Frogger clone.
Pretty much.
And we're fighting Mecha Turtle here now.
Mecha Turtle.
Classic. Oh. This cartoon kind of really paved the way for X-Men being a cartoon, I guess, kind of in a way, too.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Episodic kind of thing. And, as we grew up as kids, something a little more darker. It's kind of like Batman the Animated Series, too, is another really good one.
Yeah, I never really watched a lot of Batman the Animated Series for no other reason than I just didn't, I guess. But I watched a lot of this, obviously, and I watched a lot of some of the other earlier kind of darker cartoons. X-Men, Spider-Man. I like that Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, yeah,
the
that
original
was
one.
so good.
Not the original one, I guess, but the 90s one.
The 90s one, yeah. Well, the best one.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. For my buck, right? For sure.
Have you not got killed yet?
I think I might have got killed once.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and I haven't played this in a while, especially with this. I'm always using the arcade stick on my Pandora now at home.
Yeah.
So, though I do have a controller for the NES games, but I've found playing Zelda with an arcade stick is awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like original Zelda.
Original Zelda,
Yeah.
Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Anything top down, right?
Yeah.
Works really well.
I really like top-down games.
Yeah, me too. Like that. What's it called? Minish Cap. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
And that's a Capcom made that.
Yeah, I played a lot of the first one, obviously, and I played a lot of Link to the Past.
Yeah, Link's Awakening too. I played
A lot of Link's Awakening, and then the first one for Super Nintendo or for N64 was
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina. That's the one I played. Last one I played a lot of. I bet.
Yeah, I've got that on 3DS, the remake.
Yeah, that's what I play. I played it recently on 3DS as well.
Yeah. But I did have an N64 on the go.
Yeah.
It was my buddy Bart's that he had lent to me. And I did buy a bunch of games for it. Besides, anyway, when I had it, but he recently took it back, and I was like, you know what? Just take all the games too. Like, you know, I'm more into playing NES, SNES games.
Yeah. Yeah, I like. We fired up the 64 now and again and tried, but those games are in a weird area where the graphics looked really good back then, but now they kind of look like really weak because they're in that transitional period. They're really cubey.
Yeah.
The wrestling game's a great game, right? And like the 007 obviously and stuff, but
yeah, it's just that early days of like 3D world gaming, you know, like.
Whereas this stuff up to at this point, it's more of a retro feel still.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight the Rat King here.
The Rat King. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. First the sewers, then the world.
He never really got that far, though, I don't think.
No, I'll take him out.
Wow, think of some other toys now that I had back then. You got me thinking of like the Visionaries. I had a bunch of those Visionaries.
Oh, man, I was just thinking about that, actually. I was going to ask you, and I was like, oh, no.
A little hologram on their chest.
Yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah, I love those.
And there's a lot of voice actors from like Transformers on that show, right? Because it's Hasbro.
We're kind of the last generation before Congress regulated Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. And back in the day, I didn't understand why that was happening, right?
Now I
like,
do.
Why? Yeah. It's like, why aren't the violent cartoons on anymore? Like, I loved Robotech is like one of my favorite cartoons ever.
I think it was at one point that the American government said you had to have a certain amount of educational value in your shows, and that's why G.I. Joe started putting those little things at the end.
Yeah, they skirt the regulation.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, buy this aircraft carrier. store all your figures.
Then they realized that they could just do Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Sell clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a buddy who had that crazy, huge air carrier, too. I was never into G.I. Joe. I don't think I ever had one G.I. Joe.
I had a few, but, like, I knew someone who had almost all of them, and, like, just about any Lego set you could think of going back through the 80s, right? Like, maybe not the moon landing set, but everything after he had.
Amazing.
Like the Pirate series and the King Arthur one, right? There's a bunch of different sets, right? And he'd have them all set up together, like at his grandmother's house.
Super cool. My uncle collects Lego, and he's got some pretty wild. He got like a room full of it, all kinds of Star Wars and all sorts of stuff. Really cool.
Oh,
I would love to collect Lego, but it's a bit pricey.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Really pricey.
I don't really collect anything now. I was collecting the Marvel Universe 3.75-inch characters for like 15 years almost until they went off the market.
I'm buying VHS again now.
Yeah.
Because I got a couple of VCRs in the go and stuff. Like, I got a built-in one.
Yeah.
With a TV and stuff, but then I got
19-inch?
No, it's just a little 13-inch. Yeah. But I'm always on the lookout for something bigger. If I could get like a 19-inch with a VCR built in, that'd be pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
But like I got a Retron, and not like a Retron 5 now, like the 2 that has the SNES and NES slots in it.
Yep.
And just run that to that little 13-inch television. I think that looks better than this.
Yeah.
It's because the games are designed for that pixelation, right? Like,
the games they're too sharp on this.
Yeah. You know, and it needs a little more cell shading, maybe. Like the lines need a little more defined or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely like a modern game style to ape that old school, like Christmas, I guess you'd get with a CRT, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass here.
I worked.
Oh, yeah, these guys block.
Ooh, fancy. I worked at an electronics store in like early 2000s when TVs, right before they went to LCD, and they had like the really heavy flat glass screens.
Yeah.
Lived with a lot of those.
My uncle had a 52-inch one of those.
That's crazy. That was the heaviest TV ever.
Oh, yeah. Super Punch-Out on that was amazing. That's another great game on this system.
Yeah.
Super Punch-Out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it looks great, and it plays great, but I'm still partial to the first one over it.
Oh, yeah. For sure. It's a little more arcadey.
Yeah. I was telling someone the other day about how I saw the code for Mike Tyson in a magazine in the mall when I was a kid, and I had nowhere to write it down, so I just said it again and again until I remembered it. 007-373-5963. I'll never forget it.
This doesn't have the Konami code in it, does it?
I don't think so. No, we were talking about the Konami code on the show last time, I think, about how we used to call it the Contra code because
Contra could use it in Life Force.
Yeah.
A couple of other games, too.
Yeah. What's that game with the Geed Gyromai or something like that was called? Some weird name. I forget that had the Contra code in it. These guys are the guys from number 2, right?
Yeah. Ninja Turtles 2.
Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah, Secret of the Ooze.
When for some reason instead of using Bebop and Rocksteady, they use Toka and Razor.
I feel like they made it into the cartoon at the end as well, you know? Like there's like this cross continuity between like the movies and the games and stuff, right? Like, and this is really like fan service altogether. You know what I mean? Like it's giving you a cartoon, but it's also giving you some treats from the movie, you know? So that's really cool.
Elevator level is a pretty popular level in the arcade, especially.
The music for this is so good.
Have you seen I'm sure you must have seen the third Ninja Turtles movie. Is it like the
Saw it in theaters.
time travel one? Is that what that one?
Yeah, Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah, me and my cousin went to see it. Yeah. At the time, it was acceptable.
Yeah.
Now when I watch it, I was like...
A little lacking now, maybe.
First one's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the first one a little while ago.
Second
Still
one
holds
is
up.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That third one is... and I think I've only seen one of the remakes that they've done in the last few years, like one of the animated ones.
I watched the first.
The one where, like, one of the Ninja Turtles is in Brazil or something, and, like, Raphael is, like, a superhero on his own.
I don't think I've seen it.
I don't know, like, I don't know.
Once Michael Bay got his fingers on it, I kind of faded away. From
Oh,
all
yeah,
things
well,
Ninja
that's
Turtles.
it. Yeah, it's kind of, like, I like old Transformers.
Yeah.
I really, that's, like, one of those ones that went away because the law changed, you know what I mean? Like, they had the Transformers, like, mini-series at the end with, like, Scorponok and the Headmasters and all that. I was like, wow, like, this is going to get even more crazy, and then it was gone. I was like, what? Like, the next week, they stopped showing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we used to have, like, it seemed like every TV season, we'd have at least 3 or 4 more toy shows that were brand new.
Yeah.
Like Mask, remember Mask?
I had a bunch of that
those.
stuff.
Like, that
I had
car with the wing doors. I love that car.
My neighbor had that. I had the truck
Yeah.
with the motorcycle on the back and stuff.
I had that
popped
too.
Up. And I think I had the copter or something.
Nice.
There was a helicopter one that turned into something.
And then there's these little guys that had magnets in their feet, and they were like little tiny ones, like, and they had magnetic feet, and they had like little vehicles and stuff too, and they're almost more metal. I forget what they were called. I looked them up a little while ago. I forget what the name of them was.
Yeah, there's so many toys from back in the day like that, though. Like, yeah, trying to be the next big thing. Now I gotta take these guys and throw them at him.
This is a real 3D effect. I read The Last Ronin the other day, the Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin comic.
Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't read that.
They're making a game out of it now.
Oh, cool.
I would imagine they're going to make a movie out of it too, 'cause it's an excellent story.
That Ninja Turtles is a series that needs the Ninja Gaiden treatment.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like, that kind of... You'd have so many people playing that.
Yeah.
Especially if you had, like, online open world.
Yeah, you know, they've
So-
just put out so many disappointing games, one after another when it comes to licensed stuff. But I don't understand how. I guess because they're not putting the money into it that they need to, I guess. But
Yeah.
geez, there's so many good properties they can make good co-op multiplayer games with, but they don't. No money in it. Not a service game, so there's no money in it.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
That game was wicked.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of that. The
yeah,
newest one, yeah.
online, yeah.
That also got taken out of stores because of
Yeah.
rights issues with the movie. There's another one similar to it, Dead Before Dawn or something like that, that has
Yeah.
like a bunch of horror movie guys in it. Dead Before Daylight.
Prehistoric Turtlesaurus.
Oh boy,
There you go.
that's a long way back.
Yeah. I feel like this version has that those voice samples, but the arcade doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure.
And then the arcade had the music in the arcade was the Turtle Fever song or whatever it was, the one from the coming out of their shell, that
Yeah.
musical. that was the song in the arcade. They changed it for this. You ever see the Sally Jesse Raphael or whatever it is where the Ninja Turtles are on the show? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's so funny. They're talking about giving it to April.
Yes, I've seen that. Actually, that's
Kids are like, what?
Cringe. Yeah. There's a lot of fringe turtle stuff though, right? Like outside of the main stuff, like that Broadway show, like coming out of it, you were talking about. Pretty sure back in the day, James Rolfe and Nostalgia Critic did a cross episode reviewing that tape. It's really funny.
You say you're collecting VHS tapes. Are you someone who collects online stuff, or you just want to get them in person?
I will buy online stuff for stuff that I cannot find here, no matter how hard I try, because it being 2025 now. A lot of that stuff's bought up.
Yeah. Kind of places there in town would you look for?
Previously loved Sally Ann.
Yeah.
Sometimes the SPCA thrift store has it. Collected Pulp has some tapes every now and again. So
Yeah.
I'll pick up. I got a Beavis and Butthead tape, and I got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I think I got 2 Kubrick films, Full Metal Jacket and Clockwork Orange.
Nice, 2 great films.
Yeah. So, and I've got a lot of just weird stuff too. Like I found a copy of Elvis's Fun in Acapulco sealed at a Previously Loved.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had it sealed for a long time, and then there last winter during one of the blizzards, I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna pop this and watch it because it was pristine. It looked great.
Amazing.
And I made sure to like clean my tape heads before. Right?
Yeah.
I got a couple of those cleaning tapes and stuff now too that I got on eBay.
You got a rewinder?
No, that's my next thing. I want to get a Corvette rewinder.
Corvette rewinder, excellent.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the one to get.
Yeah.
That one rewinds the best.
Yeah. I feel like there was a Ninja Turtles one.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was probably like their van.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back popped
yeah.
up or something.
Yeah.
Or the shell. It was just
Yeah.
like shit, whatever the cheapest thing to make was, I'm sure.
I think someone had the van, and they put like a mini synth inside of it, and just had like knobs and stuff on it.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Like, little diodes and lights and stuff that would light up and stuff. But it was actually just like a little synthesizer that you could use and plug into a keyboard and use. Right?
I had a buddy who was his family was well-to-do, so he would get everything kind of thing. So we'd come in from out around the bay and go into the mall, and he'd get to buy all these toys, and then just pretty much like I was getting them because we were playing with the car on the way back, right?
Yeah.
I remember being there one time. We had like bags full of Cops. You remember Cops? The toy?
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
bags full of it, and we were in the car on the way back to River and playing with this stuff in the back seat. Amazing.
Crazy. That's a show I didn't watch a whole lot of, and I didn't buy any of the toys.
A few of them for sure. A lot of Brave Star. Brave Star was a big
Dino
one for
Riders
me.
was more my speed.
I never got into the Dino Riders.
Yeah. You could. Oh man, I'd love to have the T-Rex from that. It actually, like, you put batteries in it and it walked.
Amazing.
Right? Like,
I had something to walk too. It was like maybe it was a Godzilla maybe
that's cool.
as a kid.
Who do you fight at the end of this one?
Is there some sort of
It's
dinosaur Ninja Turtle?
Yeah. What is his name? Yes, Shredder carved into the mountain back there.
Oh yeah, nice detail. I like the way the water looks in these games, like that kind of like.
These guys are soldiers from Dimension X.
Oh yeah, Dimension X is where Krang is from, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier Previously Loved. Is that what you said the place was your?
Previously Loved Clothes and Things has VHS there. They
Where's
have it's up Kenmount Road, like across from where you would turn in to go to Kelsey.
Oh yeah, we have
Walmart.
furniture and stuff up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I feel like they had a whole lot more pre and mid pandemic, and a lot of that got bought up.
Yeah.
So I went up there one day during the pandemic, and I probably spent $80 on tapes. And I walked out of there with like 2 bags full. You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of good stuff that day, actually. A lot of old Clint Eastwood movies and stuff, like the spaghetti western stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got a copy of the BBC Chronicles of Narnia, Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
Oh, nice.
That was a really nice
rare,
one.
is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's only the first part. I need to get the second tape. I've been looking for it online, but it's a little pricey.
Were you looking online mostly like on eBay and stuff? Or?
Yeah. I'm sure there's something like Discogs for tapes too, I would imagine. I just haven't bothered to really look that hard, you know. I don't know, my main goal now is to get as many old WWF and WCW VHS tapes as I can lay hands on.
I was watching the second Royal Rumble yesterday while I was working.
Oh yeah, Netflix with it on the go now is a godsend, you know. Like, I watched WrestleMania 1, and then there's like a tag team tournament kind of thing that happens after WrestleMania 2, but before WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
I feel like one show they don't have is called The Big Event, and it was at the in Toronto. What was the name of the
Cobb's Coliseum or no? I said
No, it was outdoors. It was the baseball stadium before Skydome.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The exhibition center,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like 56,000 people
Oh, wow.
or more was at that show. It looks huge. and it's like in August, but it was like a cold night in August, and you can tell because you see people's breath and stuff. So you can imagine having to go to wrestle in your underwear in front of 60,000 people, and it's freezing. But I'm not really watching it so much for the wrestling. Some of it's pretty good. I'm more watching it for Monsoon and Jesse.
Yeah.
And Bobby and Monsoon.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby
right?
Monsoon.
Oh, man, the best. They're just unironically hilarious. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you used to go to the Strand and watch pay-per-views when you were young?
no, I've never
No,
done that.
no. We used to go to the Strand at the mall. We come from out of town and go on like see Survivor Series, or
Cool. No, I never did that.
we had a guy, a police officer, lived across the street from us at a satellite dish. So sometimes he'd get pay-per-views and invite us all over. I saw WrestleMania 6 over there.
Oh, cool. That's
Hogan Warrior.
Hogan Warrior. Yeah, I watched that recently too. I really like the way those shows are shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they look good.
Yeah.
It looks like a professional sports event.
Yeah.
Even though it's scripted.
I like the way wrestling looks now. The last couple of weeks, I don't know. I don't really watch that much. I kind of keep track of the news, but I don't really watch the product as much.
Yeah.
But I watched the Royal Rumble last week.
Oh, I still have to watch that. I
And
haven't even watched that yet.
it looks so different now with
I was at something Saturday.
Kevin Dunn and Vince gone. It looks so different now. Like,
Yeah.
It looks like sports.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like
And that's
like
what
football,
they're going
right?
for. Is like a more like there was a wrestling territory called Mid-South Wrestling.
Yeah, Mid-South.
It kind of feels like that a little bit
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
And I think it's a net positive when wrestlers are talking about other feuds that they're not involved with.
Yeah.
Hype up,
Yeah.
we got this going on, we got that going on, right? Like I'm going after the world champion, like
Yeah.
it adds to the real, it adds to the kayfabe to make it seem more real, especially like if you're a little kid, like some 4-year-old is watching wrestling and thinks it's real, and that's the way it should be.
I've been watching those A&E wrestling biographies they did last couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's funny watching those and like grown men in their 20s like starting to wrestling and like not getting smartened up for like a whole year, like going in and punching each other in the face and training and stuff because they don't know what they're
Flair
not
said
supposed
something
to.
like that when Vern Gagne trained him.
Yeah.
Before his first match. They didn't smarten him up. Like I think he had a couple of matches and they were like, okay, like you're fucking gonna kill someone. Like this is scripted. Like the object is not to hurt your opponent.
Steiner was another one, I think. Scott Steiner, I watched the one on the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah.
He was saying that they didn't smarten him up right away. I tell you what, it didn't take him long to smarten him up, I'd say, because they don't want to have to deal with him if he's not smartened up.
No, that's it. He's a potato machine. Like some of those Frankensteiners he was pulling in the WWF.
Man.
Some of the headers that the boys are taking because they don't know how to take the move are
And
just
and
like,
his legs are so
oh
strong.
my God. Like,
whipping you over.
yeah.
And the Steiner screwdriver, too, the way he draws people down their head with the Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah.
That's my favorite my favorite move in No Mercy is the Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah, I played a lot of that.
We
back
did,
in the
too.
day.
We
Played
had,
it forever though. Like
we had a place down on Elm Square. It must have been 1996, maybe.
yeah,
And we had that. Well, I guess back then we had Revenge, I guess. WCW NWO Revenge was the one.
that's also a good one. I'm pretty sure.
And,
yeah, there's some really bad ones though too.
We had 007 was the other game we had. And at no point was there not
Such a good
4
game,
people
man.
sitting at the TV playing one of those 2 games.
yeah,
And we had the boxes, so you play Bond and you tape the boxes to the TV so you couldn't see each other's screens
Yeah.
to see where you were.
it's too bad that they didn't have a image splitter for that game,
Yeah.
so you could go to broadcast to multiple televisions or something, like run it to 2 or 3 TVs.
We had all
Everybody
sorts
got
of
full screen.
rules as far as things you couldn't do in Bond. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
get a short guy, you couldn't camp in certain places. Like
Yeah, it's kind of like Slayer in Halo, especially like Halo 2 Slayer mode.
yeah,
Right, same kind of rules kind of apply sometimes. Some people just want to be snipers and hide.
yeah.
It's like, no, boy, you should be running across the field, just like shooting as many people as you can.
Did you play?
cares?
Did you play many modern games?
Not really. The last new game I played was probably Disco Elysium. Mm-hmm. Right, have you played that?
No, I know it is. I haven't got around to playing it yet, though. I'm
you
definitely
can
going
play
to
it
at some
for
point.
free from
Yep.
Internet Archive.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's on Game Pass too.
Yeah. So check it out. That's a great game. Like I've played a little bit of this game. I think it's called The Messenger. My sister's partner has it on their PS5, and it's really a lot like Ninja Gaiden. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've played Untitled Goose Game. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know Untitled Goose Game,
That's a
yeah.
lot of
That's
fun,
fun,
actually. You know, a lot of more modern stuff, like in the last 10 years. Probably just like A Link Between Worlds is one I played.
Play no Spider-Man game?
Yeah, I played a little bit of that and stuff. I really liked Animal Crossing: A New Leaf.
Yeah. My wife got
It's just-
obsessed with
it's-
Animal Crossing there for a little while on the DS.
yeah. It's very relaxing. You know, the object of the game is not to win. You're just, doing stuff in it. And guess, I guess it's kiddie, but it's really zen.
Yeah.
You know, like played a bit of Stardew Valley.
Yeah. I never really played much of that. I've started a couple times. I never super got
Yeah.
into it.
I really like Dragon Quest, but I haven't played a lot of the newer ones in the last 10 years or anything.
So I played that. I played the first one on Nintendo. I remember when it came out.
Oh, I got that at the house, man. Yeah, I'd still sit down and grind in that, even though it's brutal.
Is that a slime one where you're just constantly, or I think Dragon Warriors? I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, that's Dragon Warrior is what it was called over here because there was a D&D series called Dragon Quest, and they weren't allowed to use it.
Killing slime, man. I'm gonna go out in the woods and kill slime
You
for
have-
4 hours.
yeah. Try to find a metal slime.
Right.
Get to the power level to get over there. Fight the metal slime.
Final Fantasy.
And something's just so cruel about making a game like that, knowing that like a 6-year-old is gonna rent that thing and turn it on and not know what the hell they're doing.
Some of the games, like especially if you rent them and they don't come with the instruction booklet.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If you're renting them, right? Like, I have many a time I've done that, rented a game, and it's like, wow, I kind of wish I had the instruction manual.
Yeah, like figure out that Friday the 13th game if you don't know what you're supposed to do. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, I've watched a bunch of people finish that online now and stuff, like just videos and stuff, and I was like, I still wouldn't attempt this. Like, it's fun to play around until you die.
Yeah.
But like to sit down and learn like the idiosyncrasies of that game to try to speed run it or something, because there's a certain way you're supposed to play it, and it's not very intuitive. It's kind of like Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws. I love that game.
Yeah.
Stupid, but I love it.
Yeah. I think like the first 2 games I ever rented from a store with the system. So I didn't even have it.
Yeah, you gotta go get it early. Yeah, I gotta leave a driver's license for that one.
Was Defender 2.
Yeah, Defender was one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I
like
like that a lot. I still like that game.
I got that Coleco at home.
Yeah, oh, cool. And Super Pitfall, which is like one of the worst.
Yeah.
And I bought it, or rented it, because it's like, that kind of looks like Mario. And it kind of plays like a janky Mario.
Yeah.
But it is. How are you supposed to figure that out?
How many hundreds of hours did I play original Pac-Man on Atari? Like it'd be the only game I had for a while, and I would just play it 8 hours a day.
Yeah. I had a babysitter who had a daughter who had one of those Coleco Donkey Kong mini arcade things.
Yeah.
And I used to burn out batteries playing that when I was down to their house, right? Like waiting to be picked up after like kindergarten or like grade 1 or something.
We fired up Donkey Kong on Atari when Dickie was here playing Mario World 2 and played a couple of minutes of it. It was pretty janky.
Yeah.
King Kong looks like a cookie. Donkey Kong. I always thought that was the same Donkey Kong all around, but apparently he's Donkey Kong Senior. And the Donkey Kong that we're used to, some people say it's Donkey Kong Jr., some people say it's Donkey Kong Jr.'s son.
Oh, okay, so the Donkey Kong from DonkeyOng Country is Junior.
Some people say that, but some people say he's Junior's son.
Okay.
Krungus Kong or something his name was. The original Donkey Kong? I forget.
Now I'm going to fight the alligator.
What's this guy's name?
Can't remember, no. Leatherhead.
Oh, Leatherhead, of
Yeah,
course.
that's right. Oh, goody.
He got
Fresh
the real...
coattails for long.
He sounds like Gambit.
It's great for the snake bite. Oh, and he throws or crayfish.
Keep your eyes out for Leatherhead if you're down in New Orleans for the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah. Come on there. I hate it when it does that in games like this where you beat them out of the screen. Sometimes like
Just keep hitting
games
them, you don't
will
even see
glitch
them.
and they'll stay out of the screen. Now, it probably wouldn't happen in this game, but there's other beat 'em ups where that's kind of something they'll do in the arcade just to make it you pump more quarters into it. Oh my God, what was the name of that? I can't remember now. Sorry.
Do you remember I was talking to somebody else about this the other day that didn't remember it. Do you remember there was the arcade in the village at the top of the stairs where that like sign store is
Yes,
now?
yes,
And it was super dank and you had to buy tokens?
Yeah. I have. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I still got tokens kicking around somewhere.
Oh wow! One of my friends he's a couple years older than I am. He was skipping off school, and he was in that arcade at the village, and he was playing Galaga, and it was the day that the roof collapsed at the Sears.
Oh wow!
And he was like, "Man, it ruined my game of Galaga." I was so mad. like, spent the whole day, didn't even go to school. Just got on the bus and came up to the village.
That to me that felt like an adult arcade almost. Like
Yes. Yeah. There was one. There was one at Beaver Plaza down the bay.
Oh yeah.
In the 80s too.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
And,
I grew up around the base.
In my hometown, Conception Harbor, across
Yeah.
the street from me, one of my earliest memories is that one of my neighbors had this house built, but she had it converted into an arcade, and it was called Bet's Snack Bar.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Snack bars.
Yeah. And it was early days, so like I'm like 3.5. It's like some of my earliest memories going over there all the time and playing, or thinking I was playing Pac-Man, and I'd just be dead in like 2 minutes, like. So
This,
it's like that early days of arcade games. I'm pretty sure she had Mappy.
Mappy, yeah.
Yeah.
A mouse
loved
game. That was like a
game.
Mario type game,
Oh
right?
man, yeah. I've got a best of arcade games for like 3DS.
Yeah.
It's like a cart, and that's one of the games.
We
I played that so friggin' much, like that I could probably fire that up at home and just, if I got a good run going, I can get pretty far in it. So, and Galaga too. I really like Galaga a lot.
I worked at EB Games back in maybe like 2005, whatever year the 360 came out, because I worked at the Christmas 360 came out.
Yep.
And man, like, what were you just talking about? Were you just talking about that a second ago? Oh, I lost my train of thought there.
Oh.
I'm great at that.
Me too.
But oh man, and so what I was going to mention earlier, this is what I was talking about, that function that lets like that the Super Nintendo could do that the other ones couldn't. This kind of like 3Dness
Yeah,
going into the
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
F-Zero was another big game, I guess.
Mode
that did it,
7
right?
it's called.
Mode 7, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, F-Zero. I love that game.
Yeah, I played a lot of
man.
that.
That's one of the first SNES games I played. I went to Toronto the summer that came out. Street Fighter 2 was out at that point, so the first time I played Street Fighter 2 was at a Pizza in Scarborough.
Nice.
My cousin had the SNES, and he had like 4 or 5 games already at that point too. He had Super Mario World, he had F-Zero, a couple of other ones, I forget what they were. Definitely like the baseball game that was probably out at the time. Like
Yep.
a lot of those early games. That he
Bases
had.
loaded, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Or Baseball Simulator 2000
yeah.
or something like that.
Played a lot of that.
But like F-Zero blew my mind. And I love like the SNES Mario Kart, don't get me wrong, but I think F-Zero is better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Better.
Yeah. We went to the drama festival out to Harbor Grace one year.
Yep.
And we got billeted. I mean, you get billeted out of people's houses.
Yep.
So I got billeted at this house, and the people who lived there had a son who was away, but their son had a Super Nintendo.
Yep.
And there's a store across the street that rented games, so I was supposed to go to all sorts of stuff for like the 3 days that I was there. But I rented Royal Rumble, WWF Royal Rumble. Pretty much stayed there and played it the whole time.
I've got WWF Raw for SNES.
Yeah.
I got that
Yeah.
card there last year. I think I got it at the SPCA
Oh, that's good fun.
thrift store. Yeah. And I got a boxed copy of Killer Instinct.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It has the
That game blew me away when it came out on
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I got the manual, but I don't have the CD. I really want the CD.
Was there did that game have was there a Nintendo version of that game before Super Nintendo of that fighting game?
Starbase, where no turtle has
With the snowman. That's the one with the snowman and stuff, right? Instinct something Fatal Instinct, or what was that song called? Nintendo specifically made it. It was a fighting game. There was like a snowman and like a
Oh yeah, that's the claymation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what that's called.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. I haven't played that in forever either. God.
I think I rented that and Terminator 2 from Allen's one day. The game Terminator 2, the Nintendo game. Allen's
Oh,
was my
man.
play. We come in town. We didn't live in town, but we come in here to stay at someone's house.
Yeah.
I love going to Allen's, man.
Yeah, they had a really good selection of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I just had a little small like video store
Yeah, well, my dad.
selection, and like there was ones in other towns around.
Yeah,
so,
same as us.
You know, you go 3 towns over, you might get some different
something
games,
better.
right? Like I know that like in Harbour, Maine, there was a store that had a better selection for Sega games than the one in my town.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, and there wasn't a lot to choose from for Sega, really. Like,
Yeah.
not that I'm shitting on the library here,
Especially
now,
Master
like,
System. I don't know if
but
you have Master System or Genesis, but Master
I
System.
had a neighbor who had that too.
There wasn't a whole ton of
Yeah,
games
yeah.
that you could find.
He had
anyway.
Wonder Boy.
Oh, I love
And
Wonder Boy.
then Adventure Island came out, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is... Whoa, same thing.
Oh, my mouse. That's all right.
That's it.
Well, I played tons and tons of Wonder Boy. I love that game. And the Ghostbusters game, too. We had that. We played
That's...
tons
Oh,
of that.
yeah. Ghostbusters on NES is atrocious. Like the first one.
Yeah.
There's a Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah.
And you
But
used
the
it.
Sega Genesis Ghostbusters is the best one. It's kind of like the Addams Family game.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I must have
Yeah,
played
yeah.
it. I guess
it's
I don't
really
remember.
good. Really good. I think that's early in the library, too.
I had a friend who had a Master System when it first came out. I think his dad got it overseas when he was working or something. And we had Safari and Hang On. Safari Hunt and Hang On, I should
Yeah,
say.
Safari Hunt. And the snail game, obviously.
Yeah,
They all
yeah,
came
the
with
built-in
snail
one.
game. Yeah.
And then we had Ghostbusters, and probably 2 or 3 games, but not a whole lot. But man, we played those games constantly. I remember the same Christmas he got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on computer, and it was like, and it came with like a little phone book, and that was like the copyright protection. All the numbers that go everywhere in the booth were in the phone book that came with it. So if you lost the phone book, you couldn't play it because you didn't have the numbers.
My cousin had Bill and Ted's for SNES, for NES.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, and he was good at it.
Yeah, I probably finished it. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I rented it. You know, once you rent it, that's it.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
it for the weekend.
But he had, like, when Nintendo Power first come out, he was getting that till probably the late 90s.
Yeah, I got one up there for my original prescription. I had to describe.
Oh,
Started
yeah,
from
I
number
don't
one
have-
up
I
for like
don't
5 or
have
6
any of
years. I
those
bet I
left
got
now.
it. That's the only one I got left.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of want to buy him again. I really want the Link's Awakening one, and
Yeah.
I want the Star Fox one with the cardboard cutout model you could make of the ship.
All the EGMs are on, and Game Pros are all on Internet Archive.
Oh yeah,
They're fun to look through.
there's something about having tactile in your hand.
Yeah.
You know, like I got a stack of High Times from the mid and late 70s.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should check out the St. John's Collector's collection he got out there of magazines. Unbelievable. Me and Emily went out to his house outside St. John's last year to interview him, and he showed us all of his stuff. He's got like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of items of pop culture stuff in his house. But oh my God, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff in VHS tapes and games and DVDs. And unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of my VHS and boxes now. I really want to build like some shelving units down in my basement.
He got it all on
That's
huge
the-
shelves
that's
in
the
his
goal,
basement. Unbelievable.
right?
See, there's a hallway in his house, like a stairwell going downstairs,
Yeah.
and the whole thing, floor, ceiling, walls, is covered in Simpsons paraphernalia the whole way down, like thousands and thousands of pieces. Unbelievable all the stuff he has.
This is the last level, I feel like.
Oh wow! Look at you go! You come in here and finish the game. You're setting a high standard for future guests here.
Well, this is an easy one though too. Like we
Think he got to the first boss in Yoshi's Island and died, and then swore a lot.
Yeah, I've got the Japanese cart of that, and it's not easy. Like Super Mario World is easier.
Yeah.
It's just because you got to keep Baby Mario on the go and
yeah.
stuff on the go.
You know, I'd never seen it before. I played with
Like,
Vicky
it's
last
a
time. I
crazy
never owned it,
dynamic,
never
right?
rented it, never played it. No reason.
It's a lot of fun. I really love Mario RPG, and like any of those RPG games that came out for like handheld systems and stuff. All the Mario Superstar series and all
Yep.
of that kind of stuff. Paper Mario, all of that is so much fun, man. There's one. It's called Dream Team. I think that's like one of the best RPGs I've ever played.
I've heard of it.
Honestly, it's really good. Super Mario or Mario and Luigi Dream Team. it's
Oh,
called.
yeah, Mario and Luigi, yeah, of course, yeah,
It's
yeah.
friggin' awesome. What a great game. I could play through that anytime. I could probably do a playthrough in about a week and a half or something. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna sit down and play it all day
Yeah.
every day, but I'll grind at it and grind at it and grind at it.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely like one of those games that really got me into playing RPGs. Like from that to, you know, I played Dragon Warrior and all of that kind of stuff, but it was always kind of hard, you know. But
Yeah.
it's not like I ever really finished Dragon Warrior when I was a kid. It was something I did when I was an adult.
Yeah.
You know, like on emulation later on, or playing the Game Boy Color version of it or whatever, because it cuts back on the grinding a little bit, makes it a little bit more of a less of a slog.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Final Fantasy I finished. I had like the first Nintendo game when I bought it. It came with like had the map, the big fold out map and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had that on the wall next to the TV and like everything marked on it where everything was and all that stuff. I think I finished that. Did you get the airship at some point? I believe in that one. Is that? Yeah. I think I finished that game. I think I finished Dragon Warrior 2. I'm pretty sure.
Dragon Warrior 2. Oof.
I had that one too. Dragon
Yeah,
Warrior
yeah.
2. I think
Yeah,
3
yeah.
was the last one I played. Maybe.
Yeah, there's 4 of them on NES, and I think the 4th one was ported to SNES later as well. Well, in Japan, they were all remade for SNES with 16-bit graphics and stuff too, and they cut back on the grinding a little bit just to so you're not spending like, hours trying to get a few levels, But anyways, yeah, I was talking about Mario RPG, but like this is definitely like the reason I ended up picking up Final Fantasy VII and fucking playing it.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
No, it's fine.
I swear. That game is so good, and the remake doesn't do it justice as far as I'm concerned. Yes, the game is hard, but it's a product of its time. It's
Was that a PlayStation game originally, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a steampunk masterpiece
Yeah.
to me.
I've seen that whole game. I never played it, but I had a friend who had a PlayStation, and I used to go over to his house every day. And we'd do a bunch of bottled Cokes, and I sit down for like 6 hours and watch him play Final Fantasy VII.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. All he enjoys the hash too. No, I haven't done a bottle token in a very
No,
long
that's
time.
not me either.
Yeah. I got this thing called a hash sipper that my friend
yeah.
John Keefe made for me. And it's just a little, it's almost like one of those water bulbs you'd use to water plants. You fill
Yeah,
water
I mean, yeah,
down
yeah.
the soil and
Yeah.
it bubbles every now and again.
Yeah.
It's one of those with like a hole, like for like putting hash in. But instead of using a cigarette, it has a piece of glass that's like a stopper with a little glass hook on it. And you just blow the hash out and put it on that and light it, and then blow it out and it smolders. And just stick it in there and
Nice.
yeah, it's really good. You can get something online called a hash apple that's pretty similar in concept, I guess. Right?
Last time I used a hash apple, it was an apple with a core carved out of it, and someone put tinfoil on top of it and smoked hash through it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Oh my!
You think this is the last level?
I'm pretty sure that this. No, I'm gonna fight Shredder after I fight Krang. So there's one more level maybe in the snow. You're back in Manhattan again then after this, right? Because you're on the Krang space station in Dimension X here now.
Oh yeah.
Even though there's mousers there too.
What do you got going on these days?
Oh well, I'm playing bass in a band with some friends called Elvis Presley's band.
Oh, nice.
Started last year.
Yeah, I've heard.
As a tribute to Nick Cave and the birthday party.
Okay.
But since then, now we've got a bunch of original material that we're working on. We've been jamming pretty steady at Second Space.
I heard they closed down, unfortunately. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I heard that today, actually. So we've already found another jam space, luckily. But, that's really sad. Like, kids need a place to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was a resource that, a lot of kids who don't have, like, a lot of money could avail themselves of, And, it's good for the community.
Yeah.
I think. You know what
Rents
I mean?
are out of control these days. How someone's supposed to keep something like that open?
Yeah, so hard, man. Especially if you don't sell alcohol.
Yeah.
Like
That's where it makes money downtown.
they'd almost have to have food or something to.
And that's a whole other kind of worms.
Or turn it into a. I was saying this to the singer in Presley's band last night because he was at the house. We were just chilling out for a bit. That you'd almost have to open a soda fountain or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do fancy mocktails or something, even. Like something like that, because there is a market for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess, right? But a lot of people just want to stay home.
Yeah.
They want to be out.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
St. John's is not Montreal or Toronto or New York City or Houston or and, places like that where there's so many people that yes, there is a nightlife.
Yeah.
Because it's so small.
And it turns over so much. Like not the same people all the time.
Millions of people we're talking about. Like in one, metroplex area
Yeah.
or something, right? Like so. We're a little more chill with that.
Who else is in your
usually
band?
busier in the summertime for shows. Christmas is really good.
Yeah.
For shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working on new songs and
Who's in band with you?
well, it's Alex Pearson on drums and Anthony Brenton on vocals. He's your Uncle Tone on IG and Blue Sky. He's also a painter and a writer. He's been doing some crazy paintings in the last year. Some really good work. Probably the best work he's done in a long time, I'd say. And guitar player is Matthew Wall. He used to be the drummer for a band called Local Tough.
Yep.
He was also in Be Alright. He played bass. He had a band called Bad Milk that was on the go in the last 10 years that were kick ass. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some shows on the go.
You got anything on the horizon so far? Or?
No. We should be ready to gig by the end of this month, though. So I'm feeling March for a show, like for our first gig.
Yeah.
It'll probably be, don't quote me on this, but I kind of feel it'll probably be at like Pavlov's or maybe the Peter Easton or something like that. Or maybe Aaron's Pub.
Yeah.
So
You got any bands in mind to play with? Or?
No, but there's lots of bands we play with. I wouldn't mind getting Dickie and the Birds or something like that. Or
Good luck getting Dickie to play.
yeah, I don't know. There's lots of bands out there we could play with, though, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's a sludge rock band in town called Bog Rot, I think they're called. I seen them about 6 months ago. I thought they were amazing. The bass player was wild.
I'll say it. You lost, eh?
Oh, I did.
Oh wow. Thought we were gonna go all the way on one set there.
Oh, I lost. It's because I stopped paying attention to the
That's
game.
pretty good though. I gotta say that's pretty good. You went all the way to the boss on that one. I like the way that
And then I
looked.
stopped paying attention. And he just roasted me. I thought I had him beat. Honest to God. I do like the music in this game.
Yeah, this is a good game. I mean, it's not that it's a bad game. It's a very playable game.
It's just not the heights of beat 'em ups. You
No,
know what I mean? Like,
it's a
like Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for NES.
Yeah.
Is miles away from this.
Now, when this came out, this was like unbelievable. Like that Donatello stuff they just saw, like hitting down and hitting up.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that was something new.
I didn't hate
right?
this game when it came out. I don't hate this game now.
Yeah.
It's just not
Very
as good
hard.
Not as good as the beat 'em ups, and it's
very
really hard.
very unforgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like Ultra is like an imprint maybe of Konami.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you can kind of see. Now, you know, I'd have to pull the phone out and have a gawk.
Right there, if you want, give her a. Let people see it now. This is going to look quite different if you're a little bit younger maybe and you haven't seen any of these games. This is kind of like the top view you get. It's like a top map you walk around. It reminds me of Roger Rabbit, which I got for my birthday one year. Who Framed Roger Rabbit has a very similar kind of look to it, and that game was horrible. I almost played it for 1,000 hours. Desperation.
Okay, there's the jump button.
The emulation can't handle like all the sprites.
The Nintendo couldn't handle all the sprites back in the day, and sometimes it would just glitch out. There'd be so many sprites. Like, oh look, it's
I think that's why.
boss.
I think that's why a lot of these games.
It's the worst looking foot soldier I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. What do he look like? He looks like a alien from like the movie where he had the alien child. What was that called? That's Fear, but the woman, she had a tail. What's that movie called from like the 90s? And but he slept with like the weird
Species.
Yeah.
She's a Newfoundlander, right?
Yeah, that's Natasha Hendridge, right? Is that her name?
Yeah, but she's got like a connection to Newfoundland or something.
You know that what's her name? Gene Simmons' wife is from Newfoundland.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
And she actually grew up in a house that my friend lives in Whitburn. And Gene Simmons and her and the family all showed up one time and wanted to come in and look around the house because it was like her house from her childhood. And came in and hung out for a couple hours. I'd burn my whole house if Gene Simmons touched anything.
last week, I was on I'm part of this subreddit called Crappy Music.
Yeah.
And someone put up a Gene Simmons song from a record he put out in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, and it's a cover of Firestarter.
Oh, I saw that the other day too. It was floating around Reddit. Yeah, that's right. I saw that
my
too.
God.
Pretty bad.
I was like, why did you do this?
I saw it and I was like, that can't be what I think it is.
Yeah, the
Sure
cool thing
was.
about this too is like Leonardo was almost dead, and I just got to go into the pause screen. So you got 4 bars of life.
And there's no continues
Right?
though, I think,
And
right?
there's but that's your 4 lives,
Your 4
though, too.
lives, yeah.
And you can replenish them and stuff too. So it's kind of like, you know, strategizing what what to do sometimes. So I think this is the right place to go. No, it's just to get the pizza. That's not worth it to me.
All right, well, we're not going to play this anyways. Kind of show it to everybody, see what it's like.
Oh, well, I'd like to get to the swim.
There you go. Oh, it's Swimming World, the notorious Swimming World. By far the hardest one.
Yeah, it's I can beat that, and then I get stuck in the next part most of the time.
Yeah, we like I say, we beat it when we were kids just once, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the only time we ever
like
got past the swim level, I think.
I feel like this game was... there was always like questions about it in Nintendo Power. Oh, look, there's a free life. Oh, no, it's not. It's turn me into...
Spinorama. Remember
Invincibility kind of...
You remember when Donatello used to do it in the cartoon?
Yeah.
Turn to a ball and spin around nonstop?
I'm in the wrong spot again. So now I gotta walk out of here. Oh, no, I can't. Can I?
There we go. Oh, boy.
Oh, look, dive bombers. And the respawning is bad, too, right? Like, look. You think you kill everybody in the room, they should stay dead? Oh, man. What? No.
And then, like, Ultra. What else did Ultra make? I'm trying to think of a couple other games Ultra made.
Skate or Die.
Skate or Die.
Like
That's the
Skate or
one I
Die must be a
definitely
Konami game or something. Or, like, maybe Ultra might be a company that was doing contract work for other companies or something. And
Not my favorite skateboarding game, though, from back in the day. It had to be D&G Surf Shop.
Oh, I've got that. And the second one.
And second one.
Oh, yeah, I've got both of those.
I don't know if I've ever played the second one, but the first one we played so much with the gorilla surfing. Oh, man, we played that game so much.
Look, here's this slices.
That same birthday party, I think, when someone threw up watching Demons, we had TNC rented.
Do you ever play Base Wars? It's a baseball game where you're robots.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
That's like one of my favorite games ever, man.
The baseball games were great on Nintendo. That one and Baseball Stars was a great game. You could name your players. We had all these teams with different players, like all Marvel people and stuff.
There's a game I discovered because of just like YouTube or whatever, and it's called Dusty Diamond, I think. It's a softball game. It's really like kiddie. And I've never ever heard it before, and I was like, this can't be like a... oh, look, Donna's dead now. Well, not dead. You can rescue them later on, right? Like
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not going to make it. I don't know where I'm going. That's the thing, right? Like, it's been so long since I played this, and it's not one that I replayed a lot once the beat 'em up came out, you know?
You're going to go home now and try to finish it.
No, I won't be doing that. That's a scroll or something, isn't it?
Boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
Classic. Look at that guy.
Keep fighting these frogmen.
Don't remember him from the show.
No. Who was that?
And this guy, is he fire or is he Sandman? Fire, I guess.
Yeah, it's a fireman, yeah. Like, none of these characters, right? Like, well, that's kind of a thing with, like, old Nintendo games, too. Like, the Back to the Future game, for example.
Man.
Like, oh, my God. You know, you got bees flying at you, and you're collecting clocks, and...
The Back to the Future 2 and 3 game, the combined cartridge.
I rented that one weekend when I was a kid, and I ended up just playing Super Mario Brothers instead.
There was a spot in there where you could put a code in, but it did, like, you didn't know what the code was.
Yeah, it was flux capacitor.
Is the power. Flux capacitor is the power. And we figured it out one night. We just sat down and started putting in, like, Back to the Future words, and we figured it out, and somebody traded us a full box of hockey cards for the code. Robbie Goss, if you're out there, Robbie, I hope you enjoyed that code.
Insane. But that's just how cryptic and stuff, you know, this kind of stuff was. You know, it's not... There was no... what would you call it? In a newer game, you'd have, like, a training mission.
Oh, yeah, right.
Beginning, right? Like,
not only was there none of that, but there was no internet, so you couldn't look anything up.
No. You know, you could have a subscription to Nintendo Power.
And then if you're lucky enough that the game you want is in the magazine. And you used to be able to call that number and get help from the Nintendo hotline. I was never allowed to call it. I tried to call it once, but it was US only, maybe.
Yeah. Sega had one too.
They call it in the Wizard in the movie.
Down to Leo.
All right, Leo, it's just you now.
Oh, and they're making me go through the whole friggin' room again. I'm not gonna make it.
Well,
suicide.
Good college try.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right, Ryan, you got anything else you'd like to add? Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram. Just search Ryan Wade. You'll probably find me.
Yeah.
Blue Sky is under BMHT/NL.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only social media I'm really using right now. I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously not on Twitter.
Yeah.
but we won't go there today.
Yeah. No. We'll save that for the main feed.
Yeah. This is about fun. But yeah, that's my two main right now, I suppose. Once Presley's band starts doing shows, there'll probably be a Facebook page, but
Yep.
someone else will be doing that. I'll probably be doing the IG
Yep.
kind of side of it until Flash gets on the go. That's a Blue Sky
Oh, yeah.
alternative to IG, so
Oh, nice.
I might give that a try and see how that works out too.
Cool.
We'll probably have a band camp up in the next couple of months too. We're getting to the point where the songs are tight enough that we could probably just do a live off the floor recording of some of it and just put it out like
Awesome.
that, you know. And I kind of prefer it that way sometimes.
Yeah, totally. I like that too. Real
it's
style.
more tactile.
Yeah.
You know. If you need to track anything after or do a punch in or something, you can. But,
Yeah.
You know.
And you got a whole new album. You can release a remix.
Yeah. That's
Remastered.
it, right? Yeah, for sure. You'd obviously probably get the vocalist to come in and lay down
Yeah.
the vocals again or something, right? But
Awesome.
I feel like off the floor is the way to go with that kind of project for sure. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a blast.
Fantastic.
And I've enjoyed this. This was great.
Awesome. Well, thanks so
I'll
much for
definitely
joining
do
us.
it again sometime.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll get you back in for sure. And then when the band gets on the go, maybe we'll get the band in or something.
Yeah.
Play something for us.
I'll be down with that.
Awesome.
For sure.
And you can check us out, of course, at hulkshow.com. You can find all the links, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. We had Terry Ryan, hockey player, on the show last week. He was a lot of fun. Jordan Young was here and played a couple songs, including the hockey song. So that was pretty fun. And we've got lots of good shows coming up. So you can, like I say, follow us on Instagram, hulk.caesar. Find me on Facebook or www.hulkshow.com. For Ryan, I'm the Hulkster. Thanks for joining us.